Hey, so today I'm here to say some stuff about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. This is the fourth book in the Harry Potter series. You probably know this already. It's Harry's fourth year in Hogwarts, where things are actually starting to get a little bit heavier in the story. Puberty is a thing that's happening to them now, which is awkward to read because I remember puberty. It was not a fun time. Teenage angst is also a big thing in this story. Not so much as the next one, but it's beginning to form. In the story, we've got some fights between friends, we've got emotions running high at parties, we have some well-meaning, though somewhat potentially misguided attempts at protecting and saving people, and the return of, a super really nasty villain. It's Voldemort. Surprise! So as I said before, you can really see Harry starting to come into his own as an angsty teen in this one. But I mean, I totally get it, because after 3 solid years of everyone knowing your name and being famous for, having your parents die, it would kind of weigh on you after a while, and in this one you can finally see him sort of getting sick of it. And no, he doesn't start to get sick of it, he gets real sick of it real fast in this one. He gets in a lot of little fights with people, and he has got a really big fight with his friend Ron, and it's just kind of like, it's frustrating to watch because he doesn't really dislike Ron, and Ron's just also full of hormones, and hormones are raging, and they've got a bunch of crazy feelings and emotions, and they got nowhere to put them. Oh, and then Neville's backstory finally gets fleshed out a little bit in this one, and that's really exciting because I love Neville, and it turns out that he has a very sad backstory. And I didn't remember that as a kid. I remember reading it now and I got a little sad. Well, I got more than a little sad. I was very upset. I love Neville so much. The Triwizard Tournament, which is the main sort of crux of this story, if you will, is a really nice change of pace for the Harry Potter series up until this point. Because up until this point, it's just been Harry goes to school, Harry struggles with classes, Harry struggles with this and that and this and then the other things, getting in trouble, and then the end of the semester comes right around exam time. It's Harry versus, the forces of evil. This book it goes along the same path, but instead of having the Quidditch matches, which are the fun things that set things apart, we have the Triwizard Tournament where Harry gets to fight dragons and fight mermaids and all sorts of fun things like that. It was just a nice little breath of fresh air after having 3 different stories that more or less followed the same pattern, to have something change up just a little bit. It wasn't a super big change, because the Triwizard Tournament matches events just kind of replaced the Quidditch matches in a way, but it was still better than just reading about Quidditch for the 4th year in a row. It was also interesting to see the witches and wizards from other schools and other countries come together and how magic is dealt with. It was touched on only very briefly about how different schools work with the different magical curriculums and stuff like that. I kind of wish it went into more of that, and maybe we'll later on. I really want to know more about the Beauxbatons, because they seem like interesting French wizards, and maybe we will later on in the series. I'm assuming they come back. They can't have just been introduced for the story and be hey, this is Durmstrang and Beauxbaton, and all of a sudden it's just and then they're gone forever. I don't think that would happen. I hope it doesn't happen. Oh yeah, and while I'm on the subject of the other schools, I want to just complain a little bit, because I watched also the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire movie shortly after reading this book, because that's what I'm doing, is I'm reading the books and then watching the movies, and I gotta say, I hated this movie of the most of the 4 books to movie adaptations I watched. This was a terrible adaptation. As it stands on its own, it might be an alright movie, I'm not 100% sure. It glossed over so many things, and Fleur, was barely even in the movie, and she was just there to be a useless girl. Which was so frustrating, because it's no! Fleur is supposed to be the best witch in her school. She's representing Beauxbatons, I think. I keep calling it that, and I'm fairly certain that's the name, but I don't know. But that's what I'm going to keep calling them, and you can feel free to rage at me in the comments if you want, I don't care. But she's supposed to be the best witch at her school, and here she is in the movie just being a useless git, always getting trapped and stuff, and it's kind of come on, people. That makes me so sad that there are people that haven't read the books and have only watched the movies. But I digressed a lot in that, I think. Anyway, that's it. I had feelings. This is the most coherent Harry Potter review I think I've ever done on this channel. I mean, I've only done 4, this is the 4th one, but like the first 2 were hot messes. The 3rd one, also kind of a hot mess, I think. I got a little bit better at it, but it's also my favorite one. This one and the next one is just gonna be me bitching about how much I hate Umbridge. So, I mean, like, look forward to that, I guess. I guess that's it. So, there's links below to social media stuff you can follow me on, and that's really it. Subscribe. Bye.